Hey guys, it's Nicole, and today's video is going to be something a little bit different, especially from me. This is something that I came up with all on my own. It was for a challenge for an online forum that I participate in. A bunch of us that do process videos were asked to each host a challenge, and I'll go into more details as far as what my challenge was for this one. This first clip of my video I decided to go ahead and leave in just to kind of show what did not work for me. I wanted to sort of have this blended rainbow effect across some die cuts that I was going to cut on my silhouette. And for some reason, I had it in my mind that I could just ink up the paper and then cut it. And as you can see, it was not working. And I kind of noticed early on that it was not working for me. And my daughter was in here with me, so I just kind of let her sort of quote-unquote help me with it. So as you can see, that was not working. So I just went ahead and die cut it from some smooth white cardstock, and then I'm going to take some mini distress inks and just blend it into a rainbow color scheme. And I'm going to apologize for my voice. I've had a sinus infection for like 2 weeks now, and nothing seems to help. So what started this whole layout off was I had it in my mind that for my challenge I wanted it to be either using new supplies that we've never cut into, a new technique that we've always wanted to try and hadn't done it yet, anything that we had sort of purchased and never used, or a technique that we love and had never tried, or bought the stuff for and never tried. So for me it was kind of a mix of both. So I started out by looking in my silhouette library, and I came across this set from Carrie Bradford Studio, the little hearts going across, and then there's an XOXO border, and I had bought those years ago, and I've never used them, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna use those. And what I actually did in my silhouette software was I put both borders on a 12 by 12, and I literally built my page in Studio, and then I just doodled a sketch, and I didn't include it in the video for whatever reason, but this was the first time I think I've ever done a layout all on my own from square one where what I saw in my mind actually turned out. So I'm loving this page after I was done. And so I'm almost done with the colors on this. I cut out blending the other die cut just to kind of save time on the video. So I'm going to blend that, and then there's also some smaller hearts that I went ahead and blended too and just set those aside. And I did want to mention that this blending technique thing, I have watched people on YouTube make cards, layouts, all kinds of stuff with that technique, and I have never done it. I have those mini inks, and the most I've ever done is ink the edges of stuff. So blending those inks and stuff was very new to me. I think it does kind of take some practice. I think I had some issues, and I think it was more of just never having done it before. But I will say it was much easier to do it on the die cuts after I'd cut them. So here I've got my photos, and I just went ahead and mounted them on the rest of the white paper that I had die cut from. And then I've got this black and white text paper from Simple Stories, and I believe it's from the DIY Studio or DIY collection. And I'm just laying everything out. And this was pretty much what I had sketched out. I knew I wanted my journaling to go above the two smaller photos, and I knew I wanted it sort of mounted on a square. So I'm just taking some white cardstock to sort of build everything on top of. And then here was when I was deciding that I did not want to have everything sitting just flat to the white paper. So I'm kind of trying to think of something that I've got in my stash that will work, and for whatever reason, I just had it in my mind that I didn't want to add another color. I was really keeping it to the black and white and the rainbow. I'm not sure what was causing me to think that way. It just was kind of going that way. And this layout I ended up doing over the course of probably a week. I would just take 10 or 15 minutes when I had it and just kind of come in here, and because I knew in my mind exactly what I wanted it to end up looking like, I was able to just kind of pick up where I left off and sort of, check a section off of my to-do list. And then, that paper is from another Simple Stories collection. It's one of their summer collections. I want to say it's I Heart Summer. And the wood grain had a pre-printed design on the pattern, but I'm just going to end up cutting it off because I just liked the basic wood grain. I kind of felt like that was a good neutral to go with the black and white and the rainbow. And here you can see I inked the XO border to match that heart border. And then I'm going to lay out my photos and get those aligned how I want them to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start attaching everything to the bottom part of the page. And this, for whatever reason, this layout was just kind of, it was really planned out, but it kind of wasn't. Like, I had a sketch for where I wanted everything, that I wanted it to be black and white and rainbows, but I did not have the photos. And I had kind of looked through photos on my hard drive. I'd looked at pre-printed photos. I knew with the rainbow ink blending that I kind of just wanted either something very generic and everyday, and I could make the title sound artsy, or I was hoping I could come across some pictures of my kids coloring. That did not work. So during this week of putting this layout together, I was washing dishes and I had set my kids behind me with some paint to kind of keep them quiet, and I'm sitting there washing dishes and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to put on this layout? And I looked at my kids and I'm like, hello, they're painting. Like, go get your camera. So the photos for this layout came sort of in the middle. Here I'm just showing that I typed up my journaling. That 6x4 card is from the Simple Stories DIY collection as well. And I'm just going to run it through my printer after I put my big head in the frame. And here are those little hearts that I inked up to match. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to have those. And I'm going to apologize that for whatever reason I have shifted to the left of my video area, and the farther this video goes, the more junk you're going to start to see on the right. And I'm just using some glue dots to put those little hearts down. And I'm waiting on the little green heart until I sort of figure out my journaling area. And here I had that stamp sitting on my desk and I saw that it had the phrase, "You color my world." So I decided to go ahead and put that on my journaling card and sort of have that be my title. And I'm hoping I cut most of this out of the video, but I masked off each letter in the word color and stamped it in a different color of pigment ink to sort of mimic and help support my rainbow theme. And apparently I was putting some software on my computer at the same time. So here you can see I'm just using some washi tape to mask off the different letters, and then I'm just going to kind of carefully ink the one that I need, pull the washi tape off, and go ahead and stamp it down. And here I went ahead and just jumped to the last letter, so you don't have to watch me clean the stamp over and over again. And for this one, since it was on the end, I didn't have to mask off the whole image. I just kind of went around that letter. And then I went ahead and just added some more blue ink and stamped the letter R twice. I just kind of wanted that blue to be a little bit darker. And then here I'm taking some black VersaFine to do the title, and I was really impressed with how crisp that ink stamped. Like, I know it's crisp, I know everybody likes it. It's one of those things that I don't use that often, and after I had spent 15 minutes stamping color in different colors and they were kind of looking splotchy and stuff, when I stamped the black text, I was like, whoa, that looks nice, thank God. So I went and ran it through my printer, put my journaling on it, and I grabbed this Tim Holtz edge die to put a file tab on the top. And I ended up not lining it up where I initially wanted it to be, but I just kind of went with it. And then I'm just kind of looking at that little space that it's creating over on the left, where it's just kind of weird angles and kind of weird empty space over there. So I'm going to take this other card from the DIY collection, and I think it just says like subject and has numbers. It doesn't really say anything specific or meaningful. And there I've got ATG stuck to my daughter's face, so I'm going to end up having to reprint that photo because I was not able to get it off. So I tucked that little 3x4 card back there, adding that last little heart, and then I'm looking through the DIY stickers. I thought because they were bright colors I could find some colors that matched, but I didn't want to have one specific color more prominent than any others. So I grabbed this little black file tab and I'm putting it on there. And even now it's bothering me. Like, I wanted something there. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to put there. So I'm moving forward and I'm going to put some sequins scattered across the rainbow areas in coordinating colors. And when I had finished with the sequins, I took a picture of it and I sent it to one of the other girls who was also doing a process video for the challenge. And, you know, I said, hey, I got mine done. I said, but I kind of feel like it's missing something. And as we were typing back and forth, like we came up with an idea to put in rainbow ink colors stamp shapes on that tab. Well, as I'm talking to her, I'd already stamped one star shape, and I was like, oh, this is not working. And she was like, you should do hearts because you already have hearts on there. And I was like, that would have been smart. So you'll see it in the next clip or two that I was able to take a heart stamp, and if you just smush it down a little harder, the image becomes a little bit bigger, so I was actually able to cover up my stamp poo-poo. I added a piece of black and white washi tape, a little Tim Holtz paper clip. I just felt like that middle area was very flat and just odd looking. So I was trying to find any kind of texture or color or interest that I could possibly add to that. Excuse me. And there you can see my star that I was like, yeah, I'm just going to put stars on here. And when my friend sent me the message about hearts, I was like, okay, that's genius. Let's try to fix this. And she is actually going to be putting up her video around the same time as this one. So if you want to see her video, check out Tasha's Creative Juice on YouTube. And I would suggest subscribing to her because I feel like she does a way better job of explaining why she does certain things, like her clusters and stuff like that. So definitely check out her channel. So here's a couple photos, close-ups of some of the stamping and stuff, and another picture of the completed layout. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.